Out of all the social media platforms, TikTok was the one that really took off in 2020. Since then, it's become a part of millions of people's daily routines. But now, there's a buzz that TikTok's good times in the USA might be coming to an end. According to a survey, adults in USA spend on average 52 minutes on the app, and many small and big businesses rely on TikTok. This is somehow concerning for the US government, and they are desperately trying to get a hold of this situation as soon as possible. If you've been keeping an eye on USA's activities, you might know about the bill to ban TikTok. If you're wondering why the most powerful country in the world is worried about just an app, well, you're in for a surprise, so stick around to learn more about it.
This bill is not a ban, and it's not about TikTok, it's about ByteDance.
The bill that passed in the House on Wednesday is the latest move in an ongoing political fight over the platform. Some lawmakers went to ban the app altogether, while others are pushing for it to be sold to owners who aren't from China. And you know what? This isn't the first time something like this happened. In the past, the main goal was to get rid of the app. Back in March 2023, the House Foreign Affairs Committee voted on a bill that would have let the president ban the platform. But that didn't really go anywhere. In January 2023, Senator Josh Hawley from Missouri, a Republican, brought up a bill to ban TikTok for all Americans. This came after he pushed for a measure, which got approved in December as part of a spending package, banning TikTok on devices given out by the federal government. But there's more to the story than meets the eye. According to the US government, it's not just about banning an app, it's about keeping their residents safe and secure.
And the United States government determined that sensitive data of LGBTQ members, of the military and US government officials got into the hands of the Chinese Communist Party, they required divestment.
Lawmakers and regulators in the West are getting more and more worried that TikTok and its parent company ByteDance might be sharing user data such as location info with the Chinese government. They've mentioned laws that let the Chinese government ask for data from their companies and citizens without anyone knowing. This data could be used for intelligence work. And you know what's scary? It could also be used to affect Americans through TikTok's super addictive algorithm. The White House is supporting the bill, with President Joe Biden saying he'll give it the green light if Congress approves it.
Keep TikTok! Keep TikTok! Keep TikTok!
Contrary to this, lawmakers and the White House are clashing with TikTok's massive 170 million users in the US, which means almost half the country. And on top of that, civil liberties and digital rights groups are also against the ban, saying it would mess with our freedom of speech. The people behind the app have been saying that they're not doing anything shady and have even tried to separate themselves from ByteDance. But if you dig a little deeper, you'll see that even this seemingly straightforward call to ban TikTok has some politics behind it. It's kind of like the newest battleground in the competition between the US and China, with Washington trying to stop any foreign influence campaigns. In this situation, US lawmakers are worried that ByteDance might be secretly under the control of the Chinese Communist Party.
All of the data collected by TikTok prior to Project Texas shared with the Chinese government pursuant to the national intelligence laws of that country.
During the hearings, the company has denied the allegations that it shares sensitive user data with the Chinese government.
Senator, we have not been asked for any data by the Chinese government and we have never provided it.
TikTok CEO Shou Chew said in a testimony before Congress in March that ByteDance is not owned or controlled by the Chinese government and is a private entity. Another major concern for US is that ByteDance happens to control a company that owns one of the world's best artificial intelligence algorithms, and it uses the data of Americans to basically read their mind and predict what videos they want to see. While that sounds seemingly creepy, here's why it's a threat to the US government. The app is good at gathering lots of data. This helps it target users better, making it more popular and beating out other apps. This creates a problem for US companies because they can't get user data in China to make their apps better. Remember those laws we talked about earlier? They let the Chinese government ask for data from Chinese companies and people secretly. This could cause issues for economic security because the Chinese government could use these laws to push ByteDance around. Apart from worrying about China using Americans' data, there's also concern during the Israel-Hamas conflict that the parent company could manipulate content suggestions to spread false information and promote positive feelings toward Palestinians. In the middle of all these worries, Governor Greg Gianforte of Montana decided to ban TikTok from operating in the state in May 2023. It was the first ban of its kind in the country. But you know what? This wasn't the only time they've tried to do something like this. In January 2023, Senator Josh Hawley, a Republican from Missouri, brought forward a bill to ban TikTok for all Americans. This came after he pushed for a measure that got approved in December as part of a spending package, which banned TikTok on devices given out by the federal government. As of now, over 24 states have prohibited the use of TikTok app on government-issued devices. Some colleges have also blocked it from campus Wi-Fi networks, but students often just use cellular data to access the app. Regarding the hearing in March 2024, the House voted to approve a measure that would ban TikTok from operating in the United States or compel its sale. This poses the most serious threat yet to the popular short-form video platform. The bill passed the House with a whopping vote of 352 on 65, with one member voting present. It's clear that many want TikTok gone. Even House Speaker Mike Johnson and former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi are on board with this decision. But now, as the case heads to the Senate, its fate is up in the air. So the main issue here is TikTok's Chinese ownership. The people against the bill are concerned about free speech and say that TikTok has tried to keep Americans' data safe by storing it on servers in the US. Here's what's happening now. According to the new bill, ByteDance would have 165 days to sell TikTok. This means they'd have to pass the social media platform to a company that's not from China. If ByteDance fails to comply, app stores like the Apple App Store and Google Play would be legally prohibited from hosting TikTok or providing web hosting services to ByteDance-controlled apps. TikTok said that it hasn't been asked for the data and wouldn't share it if it were requested, but given Chinese law, authorities find it hard to believe. Another issue for the app is that the Chinese government owns a 1% stake in ByteDance and controls one of 3 board members in the Beijing-based company. Even after all the court sessions, TikTok remained adamant that all charges against it were unfounded, but they weren't so successful in convincing US legislators. So, what's next? Let's take a look at what might happen based on the current situation. The next is consideration by the Senate, which could also make changes to the text of the legislation. Some senators are already raising concerns about the bill explicitly mentioning TikTok and ByteDance. They worry it could go against part of a constitution that prohibits Congress from singling out specific entities with legislation. These folks in power are worried about upholding freedom of speech and are leaning towards finding a way forward that's both constitutional and protects civil liberties. As we've discussed earlier, President Biden has made it clear that he'll give the green light to the bill if Congress gives it the thumbs up. But even if he does, will the app be banned right away? Well, here's the deal. ByteDance will have 6 months to find someone to buy the app. If ByteDance manages to find a buyer that satisfies the government within that time frame, the ban won't happen. But here's where it gets tricky. The legislation prohibits any connection between the 2 companies after the sale. This could cause issues if a US version of TikTok needs access to the parent company's algorithms or other versions of the app worldwide. In case the application is not sold, app stores and internet hosting companies will no longer be allowed to offer TikTok for download or send updates to the app. If you already have TikTok on your phone, you might stop getting updates that help keep the app running smoothly. This could make the service worse for existing users and even cause the app to stop working altogether. But don't stress, you'll still be able to download all your videos before anything like that happens. On a larger scale, companies that have put money into TikTok-related projects might have to scale back or change their plans if the platforms get banned. This could lead to possible job cuts. From small-time entrepreneurs starting passion projects to big corporations, lots of people have used TikTok as a marketing tool to reach their audience. For many TikTok influencers, creating content is their full-time gig. If TikTok gets banned, it would shake up the careers of many creators, pushing them to change how they make content, find other platforms, or even consider different career paths. The app is also like a search engine for tons of people, especially Gen Z. A ban would cut off access to lots of voices, which could limit how much people know about different topics and issues. Looking at the economic side, lots of small businesses rely on TikTok to connect with new customers and boost sales. If TikTok gets banned, these businesses could see a big hit. That would mean less money coming in and slower growth for them. If TikTok gets banned, advertisers who put money into TikTok ads might have to shift their budgets to other social media platforms. This could shake up the digital advertising world. A ban could also mean job losses, not just for TikTok's US employees, but also for people in industries like content creation, digital marketing, and social media management. If you're a content creator or business owner in this boat, I get it. It's pretty scary, but there are ways to be prepared. You can broaden your online presence and explore different ways to make money, just in case a ban does happen. Start checking out other platforms like YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels to grow your audience elsewhere. Make sure to let your TikTok followers know where they can find you on other platforms, whether it's Instagram, your newsletter, or somewhere else. On top of that, think about selling digital products as another way to make money. This could be anything you can sell online, like mini courses, templates, guides, or ebooks. Let's hope for the best and see how things play out in the future. Leave a comment below and let's keep talking about it. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more interesting content. Until next time, take care.